Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. It's time. The time is now summertime. Euros time. Yeah,
Summertime
Euros week. The big kick-off, just over a year late, that means. Friday night, Turkey, Italy. We'll get into that later. We're here to discuss England's chances of winning Euro 2020. And we'll go through everything else, who we think's going to win it, who we think's going to be the top scorer, that type of thing. Maybe run through the groups if we've got time. Get your comments in for this as well. Let us know how you're feeling heading into Euro 2020. Keg, how are we feeling? And how are we feeling heading into Euro 2020? Thank fuck Newcastle season's over. Wasn't waiting for
It doesn't have Steve Bruce's bullshit hour with, but can I be asked with Gareth Southgate's bullshit? I'm not too sure. Not overly optimistic as an England fan, but for international competition, I'm looking forward to it. Like for the likes of the teams that we're going to get into, who the superstars are. Don't need to ramble through them. We'll get into it. But it's competitive competition that we've waited over a year for. So, buzzing for us. It's just exciting for a new bit of competition. Like I say, away from Newcastle. It is just, last season was just so fucking boring, so down and depressing. Like we just couldn't wait to get it over with. So hopefully Gareth can bring it home this year. Like the closest we got was in the last major tournament, the 2018 World Cup. So hopefully we can recreate some of that.
Absolutely. I mean, if England are going to get a chance at winning a major trophy, this year is going to be their chance to bring it home, because it is home. Football is home this summer. We've got the group stages at Wembley, every single one of England's games at Wembley. And then we've got the semi-finals and the final at Wembley. So we're going to be looking at around a crowd of 25,000, at least to start. They're still talking about trying to hit big figures for the final, 50,000 upwards, come July next month. But we'll wait and see on that one. But, what a chance this is for England. In my opinion, we'll look at Southgate in the World Cup and reaching that semi-final. Everyone was surprised. Joey Rick predicted it, Mystic Rick. Unfortunately, not here tonight. But because what I would have wanted to hear his prediction, even though he did tell me, actually, I'll go back. Actually, he did give his prediction even before that when he said he was going to come on the night, Geordie Rick. But he said, heading into the Euros, that I think he said that he fancied... I don't know where I've lost it. Fuck, I can't be asked for it. I'm sure he said we're going to get knocked out, though. I think he was expecting quarter-final, I think he said. But for me, I reckon it's one of them ones, England, where we're rather going to get knocked out in the group stages or we're going to get in the final. I don't think there's going to be anywhere in between. For me, I'm not thinking it's going to be a quarter or a semi-final knockout this year, or a typical penalty shootout. Thankfully, we beat the penalty shootout case in the last World Cup against Colombia. But this year around, I fancy we'll do really well, get to the final, and who knows what will happen. Probably against France. Or we'll get knocked out of the group stages, completely embarrassed, completely flop, and Southgate gets sacked.
I hope it doesn't go down to that. I can't be asked with an embarrassment of getting knocked out of the group stage. When did that happen? Was that 2016 or 2014 or something?
2016. No, 2016 was Iceland, wasn't it? In the round of 16.
Yeah, it got put out.
When we just got back from travelling. But was it 2014 or 2010 when we got knocked out there?
I think it's 2014. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was whenever it was. But no, I can't be asked with none of that shit. I want to try and do the best we can, but I really just haven't got much faith in England. I just don't really think history's proven it for the last however long it's been. We got the semis in 1990, in 96, in 2018. We just don't that's the best it's gone. We haven't been to a final since 1966. So I reckon we'll love to go out with the quarters. That's pretty much what it's been. Unless it's the group stage, which it has been once, the semi-final, which it's been 3 times in 30 odd year. Every other time it's been a quarter-final. So that's what I'm going to go for. I think there's four better teams than what we are. So I reckon we'll go to the quarter-final. Semi, absolute best. If we're lucky, get a bit of a lucky draw like we did in the World Cup, I think we can go to the semis again. But I don't know. I think it's quarterfinals again for us. I think we'll get out the group stage. It would be a huge embarrassment. Scotland, that's going to be the embarrassment. Scotland will be playing this like it's their World Cup final. They haven't beaten it.
I'm not condoning it. That's a
pure a little bit noncy, that. Right? A little bit noncy of you.
Pure coincidence. Shout out Jordan Dempsey, the only Scotsman I like.
They'll be playing for it'll be their biggest game for however many years. I don't think they've been to a competition since Euro 96, have we? Where
haven't. Yeah.
Obviously we had them in the group stage then and beat them at Wembley. Like, they'll not give a fuck if they finish rock bottom of the group as long as they get 3 points, those off of England. So I think they're a team to look out for because, like I say, that's their only game, that's their final. So they're a team to look out for, but on paper, we should absolutely smash them. Croatia, obviously, we got beat in the semi-finals in 2018, but Mandzukic retired shortly after that. Modric is 5 years older. They've really got a great team now. I'm not so sure. In Czech Republic, they're not a great team either. Their 2 best players play for West Ham. I don't know. Like, we've got to get up the group stage. I think that's an absolute given. Whatever happens after that, happens after that.
We should be going all the way, man. We should be going all the way.
That was doing a little bit.
You said before there's 4 better teams than England. Who are those like? I think there's 2. Belgium and France for me.
France, Belgium, and Portugal.
Portugal, aye. Potentially.
And then the other one, I'm not saying that are 4, so we can go to the semis, as I say, but the others, like, there's question marks as we'll go through, but the likes of Italy, Germany, and Spain, like, they're not as good as they were, like, 10, 15 years ago, but I think they're slowly back on the rise. They've got a decent bunch of youngsters coming through. Same as what we have, but we always have. Like, every year we look forward to it. Like, oh, we've got the next best new thing coming in. Like, how well are they going to do? And it never really pans out that way. So Italy, I think, are an underrated team. And I think Germany's back on the rise after a disastrous World Cup in 2018. And Spain, after 3 back-to-back titles in 08, 10, and 12, obviously lost the likes of Xavi and Iniesta at the age, Puyol, who else? Torres, Casillas, David Villa. I think they're a decent team, still not that good anymore. So I definitely think we could be one of the top 4. But the 3 ahead of Word, there's absolutely fucking no chance of beating any of them, I don't think.
Probably not when it gets to that final crunch moment, like, because you know what England are like in major tournaments when it comes to that. But on home soil, with this squad, with the players that Gareth Southgate has at his disposal, for me, especially going forward, we're seeing all the hype around Phil Foden, rightfully so. We're seeing Jack Grealish getting back-to-back man of the match in the warm-up games, even though he does all the lifting. So let's hope the tournament's absolutely nothing to go off for those warm-up games, but a lot of the players going there weren't playing. So when you see that, he's got Sancho there, obviously Captain Harry Kane. He's got Mount in midfield alongside Declan Rice, who's had a brilliant season. Just for me, where England's weakness is Southgate's pragmatism and England's defence. That's what it cost us. Because I think going forward, we're unbelievable. We can be unbelievable if the players are given the right of freedom and given the attack to go for it, which is where Southgate will lack it. I think where he will be a bit hesitant, a bit negative, which will cost us. And then it'll be the defending. It'll be the centre backs worry me that obviously
that's not good enough.
We've got the who else is good enough to be in there? I mean, Ben White in the bloody England squad. I mean, he's had a good season with Brighton. He did look alright. And then you've got Jordan Pickford in goal. I'll just be surprised if England, if you win a major tournament, you've got Jordan Pickford in goal with really the defenders that we've got. I wouldn't put it past the front 5, that we've got in terms of the players that I listed before, and even Rashford and Sterling. There's a lot of talent there. But it's just whether Southgate unleashes them and goes for it.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like, I've got an awful feeling. I was just having a look at me fantasy team today, and I was tempted to put Kieran Trippier in because I've just got an awful feeling. Like, I want to play a 4-3-3 with 1 holding and 2 like attacking midfielders, but I reckon like Southgate's just comfortable. He always has been. He always goes for the same players and the same formations. So I think we'll play a 5 at the back with Kyle Walker at centre back alongside Maguire if he's fit, who's extremely inconsistent at the best of times. John Stones, who's had a good year. And then I honestly reckon he'll probably play Kieran Trippier as a left wing back.
Probably. Yeah. Mental.
Like ahead of Chilwell and Shaw, who's both had absolute world-class seasons. At best, maybe he'll put Trippier as a right wing back ahead of Reece James. Because obviously Alexander-Arnold's out now, so Shaw or Chilwell can fight for that left-sided spot. And then, I don't know, I'm not entirely convinced on Declan Rice at centre mid for us, or it's called Kelvin Phillips.
Jude Bellingham.
Bellingham, maybe?
Bellingham's class, man. Bellingham's unreal.
He is class, but I'm still not entirely sure about like his age and whether he's ready for the big stage or not. Like, I know some people say he will because he's done well in the Champions League and that, but I don't know. I'm just not convinced. That's the thing. Like, going forward, like the list of names that you said before, it's unbelievable. Like I think that's a better front line. I think we've got more options than the teams I mentioned before, like Italy, Spain, Germany. Maybe not so much Germany, but the other two definitely. It's just the back. It is awful, and especially like Maguire potentially being out. That's how bad things are, because we actually need Harry Maguire, even though like, and now most people aren't going to be a fan of him. On paper, he probably is our best centre back. So if we haven't even got a centre back that we don't want, we're absolutely fucked.
I'm telling you, we're going to end up starting Tyrone Mings. One of Joelinton's best games was against Tyrone Mings.
Yeah,
he absolutely had him on toast. So that worries me massively if Joelinton can do that to Tyrone Mings. But we look at the favourites of the tournament here. For me as well, I quickly mentioned obviously the England squad. I can't believe that James Ward-Prowse didn't make it, especially with the injuries to them players. I think he brings good balance in the middle of the park. He should have been there. Deadly from set pieces. Strange one from Southgate. But England are second favourites to win Euro 2020.
Really?
Behind France. France are the favourites, then England, then Belgium, then Spain, then Germany, Italy, Portugal, Netherlands. And then it goes into some big odds for other countries. But England being second favourites, I'm going to predict it now. England will get beaten in the final of France. That's what I'm going for.
Bold prediction. We should have been beaten off France in the World Cup. Like
that
absolutely definitely would have happened, and I would have taken it.
People say like the World Cup was a success because we've got the first semi in so many years. I've seen it as a huge missed opportunity. I mean, we would have got beat off France in the final, but to get to the final, because Croatia were completely bottled it, and we missed some big chances at big times, but we just had poor game management from Southgate and from the players. So let's hope they've learned those lessons like a couple of years on, because if we're going to go another way, we're going to need him. But that's what Gated Graham's there for, eh? Gated Graham, Graham Jones, he's there, and he messing about.
I know, I agree. I don't know. Like the attacking thought though, like obviously Graham Jones is brought in to be like the attacking manager, and to put him like alongside like there's some players that are probably good enough to be in the starting 11 that won't be in the starting 11. Like Sancho's not guaranteed. I don't think Foden, Grealish, Mount, they're all going to be fighting for places there. And you obviously got like the likes of Rashford. Kane's probably the only one buried in the starting 11. I don't know. Like, we have got a good team, especially going forward. It's going to be tricky for Gareth Southgate. I don't think he's going to keep everybody happy. Like, the options are maybe a little bit too much. Like, he's going to piss some people off. Like, some people probably do want Jude Bellingham in, and I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it, especially if Jordan Henderson's going to be out injured. But I don't know. Like I say, like the likes of Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, not overly convinced. And especially, like I say, if we were to play Tyrone Mings or Ben White or Connor Cody at the back, well, that's really, really stinky, that.
That's where it goes for me, because I rate Declan Rice and I rate Calvin Phillips, and Bellingham's, I think, unbelievable talent. He doesn't look his age. He's a presence on the pitch. He grabs a game by the scruff of his neck. He's played in big games in the Champions League. He impressed in the warm-up games. He should start for me. But we'll round that off then, that first category of the video. Can England win it? Yes, they can. Will they? No, unfortunately.
Nah, I don't think so. I'm going quarterfinals. I think absolute best semi-final.
All right, then. Let me know in the comments what you think. How far can England go in Euro 2020? What we got next on the agenda? I think it is who is going to win it then? Is it?
Who's going to be the winner?
Going to win it? If England aren't going to win it, who is going to win it? Like I said, France are the favourites, and for me, you cannot look past them. They should be the favourites, rightfully so. They're by far the better team, the better squad, the strength and depth from the back, from the keeper all the way up, every position strong, even the bench. They've got a squad there who's recently won the major trophy in the World Cup a couple of years ago. They know what it means to win. They know how to compete and perform in these major tournaments now. So
they lost
it'll be really hard.
As well. 2016, they lost in the final and then won in the World Cup.
Exactly. So it's their kind of generation when we've seen teams go on runs. We've seen the Germans go on runs. We've seen Spain win 3 in a row. So. Yeah, I think it should. France should win it. To be honest, France should really win. You've got Conte on fire, Pogba will turn up. You've got Benzema back in the squad who hasn't been there for ages. You've got Griezmann and Giroud who always perform so well on international duty. And then they've got so many young, talented defenders now, like Kimpembe and Konate, who just went to Liverpool. I think he's in the under 23s, him even. Koulibaly. Like, they've just got so many top players. But I'm going to go out to the box because that's what I like to do, right? I'm not going to go for the favourite. Why would I do that? It'd be silly. I actually think France might blow it, and someone unexpected is going to win it this year. And
Like
I've
Croatia.
actually went maybe, but they're aging all the fuck now, them, aren't they? The Croatians. I think Italy are going to win it. I've put my money on Italy.
Yeah,
I've put my money on Italy. The way I put it on 2 weeks ago at 12-1, and I think they've dropped to about 9-1 now.
really?
Yeah, I think Italy. I think the Italians in major tournaments, I think I just really fancy them. And I think the record, I had it up here, their record in qualifying leading up to this is unbelievable. Roberto Mancini's doing it.
Yeah, I don't think they've lost since like 2018 or something.
So Italy are unbeaten in 27 games, having not lost since September 2018. It's been 8 months since they even conceded a goal.
No way.
So they've won 8 games in a row, obviously keeping 8 clean sheets in a row. So for me, I think they're just going to grind the way out. They've still got very talented players. They've got deadly players up front as well, so they can get a goal. But I think they're gonna just get there. There might be a penalty shootout on the way. They'll scrape a 2-0 here and there. I honestly fancy Italy. I fancy Italy to win Euro 2020 if we're going to go against the grain of the obvious France.
Yeah, well, the thing with France is, and a couple other of the just dropped my phone. A couple of the other favourites, like it's Group F. Like someone's got to go out, and it's France, Portugal, who I mentioned before, could be favourites, and Germany as well. Like someone's got to go out, so that could be like an early upset on the cards from Group F, and then whoever finishes second, even third. Though to be fair, like I just realised before, like there's like a wild card for third place, like 4 out of the 6. 4 out of the 6 third place finishers go through to the next round. So only 2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it never used to be like that. Like I don't really know why, but so that could be an upset on the cards there. And obviously those that do finish like in Group F, one of them's probably going to go through. I don't know if they do it on how many points or goals or whatever they've scored, but surely they'll go through and get a hard result. So that could be an upset there. I don't know, like I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go France. Like the other obvious option, like I said before, like Pogba turns world class in competitions. Kante's in the form of his life. The attacking option they've got, like Giroud's fucking mega underrated. You know, like he's only 5 goals off being France's all-time goal scorer. Like just a few behind Thierry Henry. Like that's mad to think about, and he's still banging them in for them on a regular basis, even though he hasn't really been a starting 11 player in years. He left Arsenal because he wasn't getting game time. He doesn't really start for Chelsea very often. But for France, he's like Pogba. He's fucking world class. Just bangs them in for fun. Like then alongside the likes of Griezmann and Mbappe, they've also got Benzema back now, who hasn't been in the team for fucking 6 years or whatever. Like they've got mad depth as well. They've got that youngster as well, whose name I cannot remember. I think he plays for Nice or something. It's like 18-year-old centre mid, Kevin, whatever he's called. Like they've got some fucking unbelievable players. So they're going to be mine. And I know you maybe didn't really give Portugal much credit before, but they've got a mad underrated young team. Like they've won things recently as well. They won the 2016 Euros, and they were the first team to win the Nations League, I think 2 years ago. Today, I think I seen on social media it was the anniversary of that. Either a year or 2 years ago they won that. But when you look at their team, as long as you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, you're in with a chance. The thing with Portugal is they've only ever really had like one standout player. Before Ronaldo, it was Figo, and then Ronaldo came in, and they had a decent team like 2004, I think it was. It was basically the Porto/Chelsea team with Jose Mourinho that was good but not class, and they had the likes of Simao and what's it called, Ricardo Cavalli. Not Ricardo. No, they did have Ricardo Cavalli, but Ricardo Quaresma, Nani, players like that. But they just never really pushed on. They were always just being led by Ronaldo and falling too short, similar to what like Argentina have been with Messi over the years. But now, when they've got the likes of, let's have a look at who they've got here. They've got Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, Premier League Player of the Year, in my opinion. Decent other players like Nelson Semedo, Raul Matinho, William Carvalho, Ruben Neves, Raul Cancelo. They've got an unbelievable team.
Jose Font,
Raul Felix. I keep forgetting Felix. Raul Felix, Diego Jota, Renato Sanchez. They've got a fucking unbelievable team. So that's why I'm putting them in my top 3. Like, they've got to be in the run-ins. Like, surely, let's say, as long as you've got Ronaldo, you're in with half a chance. So, along with the rest of the team, like, they've gone past, like, having the likes of Nani and Ricardo Quaresma to now actually having world-class players in that team alongside them. So, I'm putting Portugal up there along with France. And I think you've got to mention Belgium as well. I think they're serious contenders. They've got an absolute abundance of world-class players. Lukaku is an absolute clinical goal scorer on the international scene. Don't know how fit Eden Hazard is, but he's world-class on his day. I think De Bruyne has a doubt for the opening game as well. But they've got some fucking mad depth as well. They're a really good team. So they're my top three teams, but I do think France are the best of them.
I think Portugal, when you do list the squad, like if they can get going, if they can have a good start of that group, they can be serious contenders, like definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look at what some people are saying. Jackie's saying Belgium, Callum's saying France. Jonathan's with you on Italy.
He knows the score, Jonathan.
I still don't know how to pronounce his name, even though I'm reading it. Camavinga from Rennes. That's what I was mean. Italy from Gavinal. So that's our predictions there.
Aye, keep them coming. Next on the list.
Top goal scorer.
You just mentioned him on the international stage. Big Romelu Lukaku for me. He's going to be the top goal scorer. When I look around at the groups, and there's a bet. We're not in partnership with them, but there's a bet where you get money back when you bet on them. Every time they score, they give you some money back. So have a look at that. I'm not endorsing it because it's not sponsored. So what am I going to gain out of it? Just trying to help you out. Denmark, Finland, and Russia in Belgium's group. The amount of goals that Belgium could get in that group. When I looked around, I thought, who's going to be top goal scorer?
Yeah,
I fancy Lukaku. You normally look at about 5-6 goals gets you the golden boot in the major tournament.
Yeah.
For me,
I think most of them goals usually are scored. Yeah, most of them goals usually are scored in the group stage. Like you get knocked out of the group stage and would still win the golden boot in a major tournament.
I think he should be coming out with that golden boot out of the group stage with 4 or 5 goals easy for me. Denmark and Finland in particular, a couple of goals there, one against Russia. There's 5 goals. I think Belgium will have a field day in that group. I think they'll fly through that group, and Lukaku will be at the heart of it because Belgium. You'll see Lukaku's a lot of close range goals and all for Belgium. Yeah, because there's not many like assist kings in Belgium's team, so there'll be lots of opportunity from him from crosses, from low balls. So I fancy Lukaku to be the top goal scorer. I mean, like obviously who it's Harry Kane.
Yeah. I know that's a good shout. I was just doing my fantasy team before. Lukaku was one of the first names I put in there, but I've also got Harry Kane in there as my captain. Who I might change now. Actually, you made a good point on Lukaku. I might have to change that one. But I think Harry Kane's definitely up there. Obviously, he won the Golden Boot in the 2018 World Cup. Like he's clinical on both the international and the club scene. Couple of others there maybe now. Like obviously, like I say, Ronaldo. You've always got to put Ronaldo up there. I think literally anyone from France could be in. Like Mbappe is probably the main one. But let's say don't write off Giroud because he bangs goals in for them, and he'll be looking for the all-time France record and Benzema. Obviously, he hasn't played for France in a long, long time. He could be a huge inclusion for them. So either one of them 4 French players could be up there as well for me.
I like. I think the comments on a couple of people in the comments going for Lewandowski. I think that could be a shout. When you look at the groups, you've got Slovakia, they've got Sweden, they've got Spain. I think especially Slovakia and Sweden, he could bag a couple there, maybe go on his way, pull and go on a run. The reason I went against an Mbappe or something was just because of the group that they win. Germany and Portugal being close games. But then again, they could get out of the France. We could end up playing France, I think, in the round of 16 if it works out a certain way. So
it does.
And he'll definitely get his golden boot there, Mbappe, against England.
So if we top our group, we play the runner-up of Group F, which could either be France, Portugal, or Germany. So fingers crossed we come second.
Let's just beat Scotland. Whatever else, don't care. Just finish second.
If we come second in our group, we get second in Group E, which could be either Spain, Poland, Slovakia, or Sweden. So I'd rather have any one of them than fucking France, Portugal, or Germany.
I severely worry you will come up against, especially France.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
What about Germany? And Germany are good in major tournaments apart from the last one, but. In England, Germany, I don't know. I would quite fancy that in a way for a bit of revenge, but
I wouldn't mind playing Germany.
Would be worrying.
I think they're obviously like we spoke before about the favourites. I've got France and Portugal as mine. Obviously, they're in the same group. So Germany's who I've got to finish third in Group F, but there's obviously a very good chance that they could get that wild card spot and still end up in the round of 16. But like, just thinking back to what we were saying before when we're talking about where England can finish, I completely forgot about that fact. Like, if we finish top of the group, then we might have to play fucking France or Portugal and be out in the round of 16. So me saying we could get to the quarter final, that might be ambitious if we get a bad draw.
Now can I change my prediction to the round of 16 now?
Yeah, round of 16. That's me. That's now me prediction. I will not get to the quarter final if we have to play France or Portugal.
Newcastle, England to get knocked out of a winking Cristiano Ronaldo again in the round of 16. I reckon.
We don't go that like.
Can it be asked for that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it like last time, so I'll do it again. So we've done that then. Top goal scorer.
Lukaku.
Yeah. I'll go Harry Kane. Stick to the roots.
Oh, nice. Hat-trick against Scotland, like, so it's in the bag.
Phil Foden.
Well, that leads on to the next one, and I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to lead with a heart here on the next question for player of the tournament. I'm going to go with Phil Foden. I'm saying Foden takes up the final. That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Let's hope he just plays first and foremost. Southgate starts him.
I know that's my only worry.
And then he stays fit, and he can be a real highlight. If he obviously doesn't get that, he's going to get young player of the tournament. Hopefully, I do fancy Foden to have a great tournament. England to hopefully go far, and Foden will be at the heart of that for me. Like, he's just him or Grealish will be critical to England getting somewhere, making things happen, winning games. And I just hope to see the Foden that we know we can see, that turned up for Man City all season, that's had a breakthrough year, Champions League and everything, running Champions League semi-finals. That's the type of player I want to see. Give him the freedom, Southgate, to do that and express himself for England, and he can be one of the best players of the tournament, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll touch on Grealish, as you just said there. Like, I think Grealish could be our main man because, like, it is going to be a toss-up in who plays between, well, depending on the position or formation, Grealish, Mount, Foden, maybe a couple of others you could slide in there as well. But I don't know. I don't think Foden's rooted in the starting 11, which is a shame because I think he should be. But I think every time Grealish plays for England, and I know he had a little bit of a toss-up with Gareth Southgate a couple of years ago because he wasn't getting game time when he should have been, and he was just sucking off Mason Mount when he wasn't really performing that well for Chelsea. But Grealish has come on leaps and bounds. He's been amazing this season, and every time, it hasn't been many times to be fair, he hasn't got very many England caps, but the times he has played over the last year or two, he's been amazing. Like that game the other day, just key player. Every time he gets on the ball, he makes something happen. He can create assists as well. So I'm not saying he's going to be player of the tournament, but I think maybe for England, I think he could be one of our highlights. And I've put him in my fantasy team because he's a little bit cheaper than Foden. Foden was one of the first players I put in, but just for value costs, I traded him out for Jack Grealish. But I don't know if any of the player of the tournament's going to be from England. If it is, it'll probably be Harry Kane if he does get that golden boot. But I don't know. Yeah, again, you're probably looking at the likes of maybe Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe it could be Lukaku, as you mentioned before, but I quite fancy De Bruyne. Like, he's an absolute assist king, absolute magician of a midfielder. So I think De Bruyne could be in with a decent shout.
I think when you mentioned Portugal, I think maybe Bruno Fernandes, if he's getting sharp again. If he's getting sharp again, he had a bit of it. He fell off a little bit towards the end of the season, but he was playing every minute of every match for Man United. So since he signed the previous January, so he's had a week or two and freshen things up and gets in the mood for it. There's no doubt that he can be a player of the tournament. Bruno Fernandes.
I was going to say he could get golden boot with all the fucking penalties he takes, but being in Portugal, Ronaldo's will be taking them.
Ronaldo will be brushing into a side. You
might be the top man at Man United, Sunshine, but not around here.
This is how you don't do a dog nonce. Run up Bruno, right? This is how you take a penalty. I think, and I've mentioned obviously Italy. Key player for Italy is Jorginho of Chelsea, and I think someone like that could get player of the tournament, or Kante for France. You know how good Kante was for Chelsea in the Champions League final. So Tielemans isn't a bad shout, Colin. Tielemans isn't a bad shout either.
Yeah, they've got a few really good players. I'm pretty sure Fellaini isn't in the squad this year, which I'm bitterly disappointed about.
Moussa Sissoko is somehow in the France squad, though. That's a bit of a mad one.
Is he? I haven't really been looking at it, to be fair. Like, is Tovan?
No.
Is he not? Oh, shame.
Tovan's doing up tackles or something now, and he's playing in Mexico or something. Plays in the middle of nowhere, I think, now.
I don't know. I thought you were still at Marseille. Didn't know you left.
No, he left Marseille, I think. Immobile, she's got her there. Good shout.
Yeah.
Immobile.
Immobile's
Who
a
else is
good
up front?
shout.
Insigne as well for Italy. I'm telling you. Italy.
And we've got Immobile, Insigne, Belotti. We've got Chiesa, Jorginho, Verratti. Yeah, we've got some decent players.
Mancini. Tell me.
Mancini's the boy. Is this? I don't think his son's in, is he? Because he loves to play him, doesn't he?
Does he? I don't know.
Young Mancini, third of the generation. Might not need to get any further than Switzerland with Kevin Mbabu and Fabian Shaw.
Shaw. Or Sweden with Crafty Kraft. Emil Kraft of Sweden. But, well, that leads on nicely, actually. That's another nice segue, Kay, because the last part of this video, the categories before we jump into the group winners and stuff like that, is the dark horse, the underdog, the surprise package of Euro 2020. I'm going Switzerland. I'm going Shaw, Switzerland. Yes, I am.
Yeah,
66-1 to win it. Bit of a long one, that. But I think Switzerland, they are in the group with Italy.
Yeah.
Turkey as well. I've got to say Turkey are a decent side, they try to play good football. They are a tough team to beat, and then they've got Wales, Gareth Bale, FC as well. But
that's a tough group, that, to be fair.
They are good, isn't it?
Teams. Yeah.
But I think Switzerland, they're going to be tough to beat. Obviously, they were in the Nations League, weren't they? We beat them on penalties last year. They're always high up in the rankings because they just know how to get a result. I think they could just grind the way to at least like the quarters, potentially as far as the semis, and that would make them a huge dark horse if they were in the last four.
Yeah, definitely.
That would just be one of the ones for me as a dark horse. That's what I would say.
No, I agree with you. I was doing my research on them before now, and they've got that Zakaria playing for them, and Granit Xhaka, Shaqiri. They've always had a decent team in Switzerland. Like, they are a tricky little team, and obviously with Fabian Shaw and Kevin Mbabu, as I said. But I was looking at the group as well and having a look at like the knockout stages, just giving my little prediction on it. And I've got Switzerland finish second in that group behind Italy and knocking out Wales and Turkey. But the way things could pan out, where have I got them? I've got them to play the runners-up in Group B, which I've got as Denmark. So that'll be a tasty little round of 16 fixture for them to play Denmark, beat them, and then they're in the quarters. Then in the quarters, I've got them to play Netherlands. Netherlands aren't a great team lately anyway, so they could very well, could easily get the semi-final.
Donny van de Beek injured as well. I feel so sorry for that kid. Like, he had a nightmare spell. He looked happy in training and everything. Obviously, thinking he could show the doubters wrong, because it's a turning point for Netherlands, isn't it, this year after a couple of poor tournaments, trying to build up the youth squad there. They've got a couple of interesting talents, but I think they might struggle again, to be honest.
Yeah, they don't really need to look.
I thought Jalaboot there, like.
You don't even need to look any further than Hungary, do you? Underdogs.
Group F, they'll do well.
That's the only problem. They were going to be mine, but you never know. If Germany have another stinker, Hungary could get that third spot and get into the knockout stages. So you never know. Keep an eye out for Hungary, because we could play them or not. To be fair,
if they do that third team bollocks, then maybe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The best third team goes through. Hungary could scrape the third, and there if Germany are poor, I think Hungary might. Yeah, no, not.
Aye. But I do feel sorry for Hungary. Obviously, they have been drawn in the group of death. Like, I was buzzing for them to get this far, but it's unfortunately probably not going to make it much further. But I've got a decent little team, so just keep an eye for. I think they might surprise a couple of people, obviously, because they're in that group. People will expect them to finish rock bottom with 0 points, which very well could happen. But I reckon they might get a couple of surprise results, because they haven't really lost too many games in the past year or two either. I always check out for their results. Like, they get some decent results. So I reckon they got a 0-0 draw with Ireland the other day. I reckon they could surprise and get one win. I think if they beat any of those teams, it would be a bit of an upset. So one win or maybe a couple of lucky draws. And I don't know, they didn't write off Hungary just yet, just because they're in a tough group. But there are a few. There's Poland, Slovakia. Slovakia's not a terrible team. Austria, Ukraine, Czech Republic, Denmark, Wales or Turkey. There's a few decent teams there.
Few decent teams, aye. A lot of people going for Denmark as the dark horses there. Like, a lot of people picking them. So they had when they won the Euros, that was like the biggest upset ever. Wasn't it? They won the Euros in 92.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on
cool.
the green screen with the T-shirt, but I don't mean that. I mean that.
But they've got a decent team now. They've got Højbjerg. Who else they got? Who we're looking at? Denmark, is it?
Rondal Thomason.
Aye, not a bad team, them though. To be fair, like so, I wouldn't really rule
got
them
a
out.
Hungarian in the chat there, Kay. Got a Hungarian in the chat.
Buongiorno.
I thought you knew some Hungarian. What happened to that, mate? Eh? We spent a good time in Budapest learning some Hungarian.
Hang on, I forgot what my word was.
Don't say it because we'll get cancelled.
I know. I did learn a little bit. Just let's think about it.
Aye. Anyways, then let we know your dark horses for the tournament, the underdogs who can go far unexpectedly, and we'll round this video off with just rifling through the group, shall we? Group A, then we've got Italy, Switzerland, Turkey, and Wales. I'll go for Italy to win that group. Keg, what do you reckon?
Yep, I same. Like, I think that second place is up for grabs, but we did mention Switzerland as the underdogs. If they get a favourable draw, could make it as far as the semi-finals. But Italy's definitely the best team in that group by far.
Mm-hmm. I am looking forward to the opening game though on Friday night, Italy-Turkey. I think that'll be a tasty affair.
It will be. I say Turkey's a tough team. Turkey's a really tough team. Got some hard players.
Mm-hmm. And then Group B should be an absolute breeze for Belgium against Denmark, Finland, and Russia. I don't think Russia are quite the team that they came to be a few years ago. They were a tricky opponent when they had some good Premier League stars. Finland, nah. Denmark, people are saying dark horses, but for me, I don't think it'll be pushovers, but I think Belgium will get through that group as group winners.
Yeah, it should be a breeze. That should be 3 easy wins. Let's say, like with De Bruyne and Hazard, I think Lukaku should be fucking banging in 4, 5, 6 goals in that group.
Nah, definitely. And then you've got Group C, Austria, Netherlands, North Macedonia, and Ukraine. That's an awful group. Nobody wants to watch any of those games.
Yeah,
put them on a Monday night. You know? Anyone cares? Netherlands, you always like watching a bit of Netherlands from back in the day. I used to love Netherlands and the orange.
We're a top team when we were growing up, eh? But yeah,
and that. All they've always been class until literally the past 5, 8, 10 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously when the World Cup final, weren't they? When they just try to hack thingy to death. But they were beaten on that by Spain. So yeah, in that group, you'd still say they should finish top, really.
I fancy Netherlands in that group. Like I say, it is going to be tough. It's not going to be pretty. Like I say, no one's going to really want to watch them games. But I think out of a bad group, Netherlands should be the best team. Like they've got Wijnaldum, Memphis Depay, a few really good players like De Ligt. Right, they did have Van de Beek, but yeah, they're not too bad. So Netherlands have got to top that. But I fancy Austria to come second in that one. Like I wouldn't rule out Austria. Like Ukraine's not that bad. Like they've got 1 or 2 decent players, but I think Austria could be the ones to look out for in that group.
I agree. Austria might even put them to it if there's a few surprises. Or we're not tipping North Macedonia to make any strides, like make any waves. Do you reckon they'll see them score a goal? Adamant.
2 goals. Heard it here first.
2 goals.
Couldn't name me any of the players. I'm not going to predict who the goal scorers are. But I reckon they might get 2 goals. At best.
I don't know what happened to South Macedonia, where they finished in qualifying league, but didn't quite make it. didn't know the reason was. Macedonia was split in half like that.
Yeah.
Group D is where it's at. It's what we came here for. Croatia, Czech Republic, England, and Scotland. Now, England should finish top of that because I think Croatia are a very aging squad. They've still got some ballers in there, Modric and Perisic and all the Sitches. But they're in the 30s now, man. It's going to be the last chance saloon for them in that terms. I think they'll still be a tough team to play against. I think they'll still be a decent squad, but England should get top of that group, man. And then Czech Republic, again, they used to have 2 or 3 good Premier League players. Not sure who plays for them these days. And I think Scotland are just happy to be there, aren't they? They're just going to be in a massive piss up. Happy to be there. Yeah. But it will be. England will rather thrash them with 4-0, or it'll be a proper cagey, ugly game where it is, like you said, it is their final.
Yeah, I think it will be. It's one that I'm not looking forward to because we expect it. We should beat them quite comfortably, but they'll proper go for it. I think we might go a little bit too conservative with it as well. Like when we did play them a couple of years ago, and did we beat them 3-2 in the end, or did it finish 2-2? Because Lee Griffiths scored 2 free kicks right at the end. Like they'll proper go for it. Like I've seen a few of the comments. Some Scots are correcting us in saying that the Euro 96 was the last tournament. It was actually World Cup 98. Sorry, Scotland, for fans, for getting you 2 years wrong, but you still haven't been to a tournament in 20 odd years. But no mind. So Czech Republic, though, like I say, like back in the day, they actually were a good team. I don't know if it was 2004, maybe 2006. They had a really, really good run. Like Pavel Nedved was. Pavel Nedved, Thomas Rosicky, Milan Baros, Jan Koller.
Used to love a bit of Milan Baros.
They were a decent team, but now I think their best two players are Sufal and Suchek. I think they're the only decent players that they've got at the minute.
Just you might there saying South Macedonia equals Greece. Like it shows 2004 Greece winning the Euros that anything can happen. You know what I mean? Big up Dabizak. Nikos Dabizak. Yeah. They can score a goal with a drawn 0-0 and cruise to the final.
Yeah, that was a major upset, like what Denmark was back in 1992. Like
Alioski.
I knew one player. I just did not. He's not really a striker though, is he? But El Massive, but I don't know who that is.
Alioski's a fucking wing back, isn't he?
But no, Czech Republic, not great. Scotland, not great. Croatia, decent, but very, very aging. Probably not as good as they were a couple of years ago. So, yeah, we should top that group. If we don't, I'll be kind of pissed off. But it could be beneficial to finish second, because we'll definitely go out in the round of 16 if we do win the group. So,
right then, Group E: Poland, Slovakia, Spain, and Sweden. Obviously, Marty Dubravka there, coming up in the Euros, representing the tune against fellow Newcastle player Kraft of Sweden. And then a Spain side looking to trying to rediscover some form. And Poland as well with Lewandowski. So actually that could be an alright little group, to be honest.
It might not be too bad.
I think I'd still probably go Spain to top it.
Yeah.
As obvious as it may seem, but Poland might surprise a couple of people.
Yeah, I definitely they've got a handful of decent players, obviously led by Lewandowski. He's an absolute clinical striker. Give him half a chance and he'll score a goal. So I don't think you can rule Poland out. Slovakia's got a couple of decent players now, like Hamšík, players like that. Obviously Dubravka in goal. And they're not too bad. Like, they always give us a hard run, don't they? I'm pretty sure we had them in the group. That's when we watched that game in Budapest. It was 0-0, wasn't it? Oh my God, it was boring game that was. Like they are a tricky little outfit, to be fair. Like, so don't rule out Slovakia. Definitely don't rule out Poland. Spain should be good enough, but I think Spain could be one of them teams that might have a bad tournament, because they're not as good as they were like back, obviously, like in the 10 year ago, 2010, where they won 3 consecutive tournaments. Like the best striker now is like Morata, who was a decent striker but had a failed spell in England. Like, it's far from the days of having like Fernando Torres, David Villa.
That Gerard Moreno, who was banging them in Liga, scored in the Europa League final. I think he's a decent player. I like that, Gerard Moreno from Villarreal. And then Ferran Torres as well.
Yeah, they've got some decent players, but I just feel like because of the name, because of who they are, everyone expects Spain to always do well. But in a tough little group against Poland and Slovakia, Sweden can sometimes put up a little bit of a fight in all. I'd love to have seen Ibrahimovic play. Like, I'm gutted he got injured, but it could be a tough little group for Spain. Like, don't guarantee that they're going to get through, but on paper, by rights, they should finish top of the group with Poland second.
In Spain, Calvin in the comments, because no Real Madrid players for the first time ever in Spain squad. Sergio Ramos not making the cut, which was a surprise for everyone. And
Asensio, Carvajal.
Aye, some big names dropping out for Spain, but Adama Traore is there. So
and just in case you need a B-Tex or Maximin,
just he's there for you. And finally, Group F, the best till last, the group of death. It's France, Germany, Hungary, and Portugal. A real tasty group there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I actually put a bet on that a while ago, and just for the banter, like, as soon as the group was drawn out, I think I put like a $5 on. I didn't even know what the odds were, but I put a little cheeky bet on them to get out of the group stage, just for banter, really. But if it comes in, I'll be absolutely loving it. So Hungary to get through. First.
I don't fancy Germany to do well at all. So if they're doing that third place bollocks, where one of the third place teams gets through, then Hungary could spring up there. You'd expect France to win the group, maybe. But Portugal, like you said, I think I didn't really look too much into Portugal before this, but when we're looking at the squad and when you realise who they've gotten, Ronaldo's probably last tournament. Well, I would say that, but it's probably not actually because he just
he's
like 21. He's 36 or whatever he is, but he still acts like he's 21. Still, fitness records are unbelievable.
The World Cup's on next year as well. It's not like we've got like a 2-4 year wait. World Cup's on a year away.
Oh, it's not. It's called Euro 2020, but it's played in Boston 21, isn't it? So, but then we look at Germany, and for me, Germany, their team's just. It's not what it used to be either. I mean, there's still some class players in there, but Thomas Muller. We talk about Ronaldo's age. Thomas Muller's still about. I feel like Thomas Muller's been about. Like, what the hell, man?
Shouldn't have you retained like Schweinsteiger and closer?
They've got Timo Werner up front, Leroy Sané. I'm not sure how he's got on since he went back to Germany. But then the midfield is pretty strong. Like Toni Kroos, Kimmich, Havertz, Gundogan, Goretzka, Serge Gnabry.
Gnabry's a good goal scorer.
He is. He's a baller for Germany. He's unbelievable, isn't he?
He is, yes. I wouldn't really rule them out. Like, I've got them to finish third in the group, but like that'll probably be enough. They'll probably score enough. Like I say, I don't really know actually how you get through to the round of 16, finishing in third place. But if anybody's going to get through, you could probably put your money on, like you probably put your absolute mortgage on whoever finishes third in Group F going through. But for me, that's going to be Germany. But like I say, they've got the likes of Sané, Gnabry, Havertz, Gundogan, Werner, still some decent players, but I don't know. I just think France and Portugal are my two top teams, along with Belgium, to win the whole thing. So I don't know. I think the winner of the tournament could be in this group, quite possibly. So Germany might have to fall out. So I've got France, Portugal, Germany, Hungary.
I think France will win that group as well, but I'm looking forward to a tasty, very tasty group.
Yeah.
And I think that'll round up the Euro 2020 predictions video. So I've went for Italy to win it. You look and you think France should win it. If I'm going me heart, I'm saying England get beat in the final of France. If I'm going for a bit of an outside bet, bit of all right odds, a team who's on form is Italy. I'll go for Italy to win Euro 2020. Keg, what are you saying last of all?
That's a little bit of an outside bet. Like my top three are quite simply France, Portugal, and Belgium. I think France are by rights favourites. I think they should win. That team's deep enough and good enough. But I think Portugal, let's say, like with the depth they've got, the absolute world-class talent that they've been producing over the past 5 or so years, obviously led by Cristiano Ronaldo, that always in with a chance. I think that would make a tasty little final, that France and Portugal. But France have got to take it from me. I know that's the boring answer because it's just the obvious answer, but I think they're in like the dominating spell. Like some teams have it, like Spain had it 3 competitions in a row, 2008, 2010, and 2012. I think this is France's time, and adding the likes of like some of that, like the younger players that they've got, as well as like bringing Benzema back in. That's so dangerous. They're really, really good.
They are. They should win it. The favourites for a reason. We're going to need a couple of injuries and a lot of good luck on the way. A couple of injuries for France, a lot of good luck for England. Southgate to go for it a bit. Foden and Grealish to burst onto the scene like we know they can. Take the tournament by storm. Have that Gaza moment. Have that Mike Lowe moment. Let's go for a good summer, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Getting out there on Sunday. Hopefully there's some nice weather. It's been lovely the last few weeks. So, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. Sunday is England's first game, 2:00 against Croatia. Repeat of the semi-final last World Cup. Friday night is Italy v Turkey for the opening game. Stay tuned. More Euro 2020 videos to come throughout the next month. Keep your comments coming in, what you think heading into the tournament. Subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV. Enjoy yourself.